Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome. This is a Lindsey Buckingham ranking video this time, and it's going to be his studio albums plus the two collaborative albums he did. One with Christine McVie, of course, and one with Stevie Nicks back in the day, in the 1970s. So, yeah, it's his solo ventures. Lindsey Buckingham is one of my true heroes, and yeah, hopefully that's my quickest intro yet. So to start it all off, I believe this is number 8. It's going to be the newest venture, which was the Christine McVie, Lindsey Buckingham. And it's a good little record, actually. I remember the first couple listens, I wasn't really that into it, but I knew I would begin to like it. It definitely grew on me. Yeah, I gotta say that in my world, when that came out, I thought it was a lazy single, and I thought, ooh, maybe my hopes are not that high for this record, but that single really grew on me. I actually love it now, and by the time this came out, I loved it, but I didn't love the rest, and then it grew on me. It's a little lighter. Like every Fleetwood Mac record, even the poppiest ones, always have kind of like this mysticism about them. You know, even the really early stuff and the Bob Welch stuff, the Danny Kirwan stuff. And there's always something kind of unique and, you know, mystical about it. And this doesn't have this. This is a true pop record with a little bit of rock in there. But, you know, it's two veterans of the scene just doing what they do. Lots of good hooks. You know, it's mostly a Lindsey record, though. It's billed as Lindsey and Christine equally. But on the Lindsey songs, you can barely hear Christine, and on the Christine songs, Lindsey's all over them with his arrangements. They work really well together, but I wish they, you know, they did tour together, but I wish they put out another one of these before everything went kind of sour with, you know, Lindsey and the rest of Fleetwood Mac. Because this really is, I gotta say this too, this really is a Fleetwood Mac record, because Fleetwood and McVie play, they're the rhythm section on every one of the 10 cuts. And really, if they marketed it as such, this would have sold a lot better. It wouldn't have sold all that well compared to like a Stevie Nicks Fleetwood Mac record. But I think it would have sold a lot more records. And yeah, I'm of the mindset, and this is a controversial take, that Fleetwood Mac is whoever Mick and John want along for the ride. Like, it's been so many iterations. And a lot of people disagree with that. They say if Lindsey and Stevie aren't there, it's not Fleetwood Mac. That's definitely not true. It's whoever they, you know, Peter Green gave them full reign to create the group that they wanted at any given time. As long as those two are there holding it down, it's a Fleetwood Mac record. But that's for another time. Number 7 is this one, Buckingham Nicks. And yeah, this is a very early record, and I don't think this has ever become like widely available. It came out on Anthem Records here, and Quality Records is the one I have. But they never did an official release of this. Like there's not an official CD release. That it needs to be reissued on vinyl. I will buy it day one. That's very bootleg looking. But anyway, the arrangements are there. You know, there's some great stuff on here. Lola, Races Are Run, Crying in the Night is a beautiful one, and I'm trying to think of my favorite, Long Distance Winner. And then you have little instrumentals like Stephanie, which really show off Lindsey's prowess. And yeah, nothing but good things to say about this one. You know, you definitely see why. I think Mick heard the very last track off this. That's the story, and he said, I need this guy in the band. And Lindsey said, well, we're a package deal, you get both of us. And then history was made. But there's conflicting stories that, you know, Mick was in a recording studio and Lindsey was playing in there, so I don't know what to believe anymore. Alright, so this is number, what, 6, is it? 6. And it's Go Insane. And this would have placed a lot higher back in the day. When I first got this, it just blew my socks off. I do think it's a little bit 80s sounding, and, you know, I like Slow Dancing and Bang the Drum and Loving Cup, but I think they're a little weaker than the rest of the material, especially Slow Dancing, which a lot of people would disagree because it was a single. It was the second single. And Bang the Drum, that one's a lot of fun. You know, it's got that breathy, breathy chorus. And then the DW Suite, which is, of course, Dennis Wilson. That's a really nice tribute. And I think the standouts are I Want You and I Must Go. And then, of course, the title track, which was a kind of hit. It was a minor hit, but then it kind of dissolved before the album ever came out, and the album stalled in the record stores. Interestingly, you got Play in the Rain kind of finishes off side A and then continues on side B. So that's that one there. And then, I don't know why, but I couldn't find my copy of Under the Skin, but that would be the number 5. It's somewhere, I think it's stored away somewhere. Under the Skin is a little bit kind of, I mean, it's underrated. It definitely, you know, came at a weird time. You know, it came like 14 years after his last solo venture, and it came at a time that there was no Fleetwood Mac stuff on the horizon, and continues to be that way. But, you know, live or in studio, at least things happen live a little later on. And Under the Skin, I mean, that was kind of I knew Fleetwood Mac, but that was my entryway to their career with Not Too Late, or to his solo career, I should say, with Not Too Late. And I thought, wow, I got to get the record when it comes out. And a lot of it is kind of whispery vocals and stuff like that, so it's very downplayed. But standouts are Someone's Got to Change Your Mind. That one's amazing. Not Too Late, as I mentioned. Show You How is definitely a good one. Down on Rodeo is pretty good. And Under the Skin is a great one, definitely. He's definitely performed a lot of that record in live performances, so yeah, it's a good one, definitely. So what was Go Insane was 5, that was 4? I'm getting the orders all mixed up. No, this one's 4. Seeds We Sow. And when this came out this would rank dead last. I thought it was decent when it came out, and I went to go see him on that tour, and they have the LP copy for $35. And I thought, 35, that's a lot for an album I just think is decent by one of my heroes. And a year later, I was kicking myself for not picking it up because I couldn't find it. The music grew on me. I actually really like this one now. And yeah, looking at what it goes for on Discogs and that, it's like, oh, I'll never get this unless he reissues it somewhere down the line. But it's been out for 10 years. I don't think it sold that well because only a hardcore fan would have picked it up. So it's like, oh, it's never going to be reissued. But here's the CD copy. So In Our Own Time, that's a scorching one. Illumination is very catchy. Stars Are Crazy is, you know, him doing his crazy studio wizardry. It's very layered. It sounds amazing. One Take's just a kind of urgent rocker. That one's good. And Gone Too Far, I think, is why this places above the last one. That is an amazing one. It sounds tailored for Fleetwood Mac and the 3-part harmonies and all that. But of course it's like most Lindsey records, or every Lindsey solo record, it's him harmonizing with himself. But I think that's a late career highlight, Gone Too Far. I love that. It's just beautiful. It sent chills up my spine, and seeing him on this tour is a great memory. You know, it was him performing for a, you know, quite small audience, and you know, just a complete foil to experiencing him with Fleetwood Mac, which, you know, was a dream come true to see all of them up on stage together. I first saw him with Stevie, Mick, and John, and then the next time I saw them, maybe a year and a half later, Christine had rejoined the fold, and yeah, I mean, both times were a dream come true, seeing him do I'm So Afraid with the actual band. just sent even more chills up my spine. But I got so many chills from this tour, and it was so fun to see Lindsey with his band at the time. And then another highlight would be End of Time. Okay, so that one's a good one. Definitely a gooder, and I really like that shot. That's a really nice one. It kind of, it shows that you can show an artist in their later years in a great light, instead of, you know, the Christine McVie, Lindsey Buckingham record where they look just awkward. It's not good album art. And then I think a lot of people wouldn't place this one quite as high, but I'm putting this one at number 3. So, and you're looking good, my friend, there. So, yeah, this one's a little inconsistent sound-wise. Like, it sounds like he's experimenting a lot. This is coming after Tusk. He's kind of trying to find where he is. Of course, the huge hit Trouble is on here. Holiday Road is not on here, but that one didn't appear on any of the studio albums. But Trouble is his biggest hit, and then Holiday Road, and then other than that, he didn't really have any solo hits. Trouble is an amazing song. It's like Gone Too Far, a 5 out of 5, just complete amazing studio wizardry. There's that great guitar solo, which is kind of sort of flamenco sounding. There's the harmonizing is just out of this world, and you know, the lyrics are fun and catchy. They're not, you know, heavy lyrics, but as a pop single, it works. It's definitely one of my favorite things that any of the artists from Fleetwood Mac have put out solo. I just love Trouble so much. Buona is great, of course, which may or may not be a critique about Mick Fleetwood, but it's a very interesting song anyway, and yeah, I like the lyrics a lot, and it's a great opener. Mary Lee Jones is a fun rocker, and I can't tell if those drums are just a drum machine, but the drums are going crazy, and I like that a lot. And then a lot of this stuff is kind of like 50s throwbacks, and it's a really interesting and weird choice for a start of a solo career, especially from someone with such prowess and, you know, a guitar god, really. To put out a record like this as their first solo record. It's weird, it's ballsy, you know, it's kind of the antithesis of what Stevie Nicks put out as the start of her solo career, and of course she had the most successful solo career by far. This record did okay, but I think because it's just such a mishmash, hodgepodge of material is probably why it gets such a weird reception. Johnny Stew is a lot of fun, which is apparently about, well, of course the name's there, Jon Stewart, which he worked with, and they did some great work together. I know that Jon Stewart doesn't like the first record they cut together that much, but I think that the stuff that they worked on together is the high point of Jon Stewart's solo career. And then, yeah, That's How We Do It in LA is a lot of fun. It's a fun hodgepodge, like I said. You know, it's kind of loose sounding but calculated at the same time, if that makes any sense. It's a weird, wonderful solo record, and I really enjoy it. I will admit it's not consistent, but I do enjoy it all the way through, so there's that. And then I complained about the Christine McVie Lindsey cover, but how about this one? Ruffle my forehead a bit more. Yeah, I don't know about that. Gift of Screws. Thankfully, the music within beats the hell out of this blurry, weird, awful cover. But man, the 10 songs here are amazing. Great Day kind of sounds just as inspired as the Tusk stuff from back in the day. It's great. Time Precious Time is so layered and just almost ethereal, and you could never replicate a song like this live. Even a you know, musical magician like Lindsey Buckingham, I don't think it was ever played live, and it couldn't be. He'd have to completely rearrange it. And that's another one of my favorite solo hits by him, or not hits, but solo songs. And then stuff like Wait For You and Love Runs Deeper, like that could have totally been on a Fleetwood Mac record, like if they ever did follow up Say You Will, which they never did. And Bel Air Rain is very pretty. I like that one a lot. Right Place to Fade, again, sounds kind of Fleetwood Mac-ish. Gift of Screws, the title track is just insane. Yeah, it's just him, rocking out again, which is always appreciated, right? And then this, if there's ever been something I'd like to have on vinyl, it's this one. So this is number one, and yes, I'm holding it the right way, but I can hold it that way. But that's how it goes. So this is Out of the Cradle, which, some of my takes on some of the other ones, yeah, I enjoy everything Lindsey, but a lot of people will kind of say, oh, I don't like this one, I don't like that one, but it seems like pretty much the whole Lindsey fan base agrees that this is probably the best one. And I'd be interested to see if anyone says that their favorite is another one, and I would definitely appreciate an alternate opinion. That would be great. But for me, for my money, this one's the best. There's not a bad song on here, of course. Wrong is great, which I think is another song written about Mick. A very kind of critical song. Countdown is an amazing song. If you want to see a great live performance, check out Countdown on the David Letterman show. YouTube that one. It's quite a stellar performance. All My Sorrows is kind of like Time Precious Time off the last one. It's very layered and calculated. This one's more patient and mellow and kind of sad, and I love that one. Seeing him do that one live was just a dream come true. I can't talk today, and I'm sorry. You shouldn't film when you can't talk. This Is the Time is a great one. Very dynamic. Street of Dreams kind of builds and builds and builds. That one's amazing. You Do or You Don't is great. Turn It On. Turn It On is just, his vocal performance is so different. I love that one. Doing What I Can, which kind of sounds like a recreation of Big Love. Like the music and the pacing, the tempo is all kind of like that, but it's kind of like a reinvigorated, it's not the same lyrics at all, like he's singing other things, but it kind of sounds like maybe that's what he wanted to get out of Big Love, and it's kind of like a redo in a way. And then Surrender the Rain is one of the big highlights here. It's great. And then there he is. He holed up in the studio for a long time to create this record, and I always liked that. It's just him, it must have been so many lonely hours in the studio just playing and replaying, and this needs a vinyl re-release, this one. I would pay big money for that. So I would say, if you want to check out anything Lindsey, if you like Fleetwood Mac and you want to know where to start, pick that one up, or pick up this bad boy right here, Solo Anthology, the best of Lindsey. And you'll get a really great kind of whole career smattering, like all these great choices, and you get 2 new songs, Hunger and Ride This Road. And then you even get the Holiday Road from the National Lampoon soundtrack, which is a lot of people's favorite, or one of their favorites, and Time Bomb Town from Back to the Future, which is only in it for a few seconds. Marty McFly is listening to it in his Walkman, I guess. It's the 80s, so it was Walkman, and he wakes up and you can hear Time Bomb Town, which has something that I think they call hocketing, which is what he's doing with the vocals there. And it's really interesting and very, very catchy song. And then Dancing Across the USA. So you got some non-album cuts, and then you have some really great entries from all of those solo records I just mentioned. Everything except the Stevie Nicks one. But yeah, there's even an entry from the Christine McVie. And yeah, a lot of the ones I said were highlights off the solo LPs, like Someone's Gotta Change Your Mind, and In Our Own Time, Countdown, Show You How, Street of Dreams, I Must Go. Like, this is a really well-selected best of. And I'm glad they didn't call it greatest hits, because it always annoys me when they call things greatest hits when the artist only had 2 or 3 hits. And Lindsey, like, yes, Fleetwood Mac have sold so many records, like compared to other American bands. I think maybe they're only topped by the Eagles in that vein, but you know, don't call it a greatest hits because he's not a guy that's had a lot of hits outside of the Mac. Yeah. So anyway, if like I said, if you have a differing opinion, definitely show your comments, show your ranking there, and or just tell me what your favorite one is, because a lot of people pick Out of the Cradle, but if you have a different opinion, that's great. Um, yeah, obviously this is just my opinion, so there really are no wrong answers. Just enjoy the music, and yeah, I'll come back and rank some more records, and I got another idea. I'm going to talk about Lindsey Buckingham a bit more too, so tune in for that, and thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, everybody. That's what's up.